Hey, what's up, expats? I'm Josh and this is Kaylee, and we're back with part 3 of our trip to India. If you haven't checked out the first 2 parts of our trip, please do. In part 1, we talk about our trip to Agra. Part 2, we talk about going to Delhi. And then now we're talking about Goa. So Kaylee, what did you think about Goa?
I actually really liked Goa. I wasn't really sure what to expect. You hear about all the beautiful beaches and everything. So I guess part of me thought, well, I'm looking forward to these beaches, but maybe going in with low expectations, just not really sure. And I really liked it. The beaches are beautiful. I mean, of course, it's still, there's not loads of high-rise buildings or anything like that, but even just driving around, it was really nice, actually.
Yeah, so what we knew about Goa going in was that it has some Portuguese influence, so we thought that we would see maybe a little more European style architecture, the language influence, and maybe possibly some food influence. And I think really it checked all 3 boxes. I would say from an architecture standpoint, I felt like I was more in a Latin American country, but maybe that was just because of the development and construction style
And the colors.
grades.
Like the buildings actually, like they were small and not very, fancy or anything, but there were lots of different colors to the buildings.
Yeah,
And I
it gave a
think
lot of character, right?
yeah, and that's, you see that a lot more in Latin America, like the pinks and the yellows and the greens, like those crazy kind of colors. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was really cool. So let's talk about what we did there.
I think my favorite part was the spice plantation. So we did a tour of a spice plantation, and you just got to learn about all the different types of spices, like how they grow. You got to see them in their natural environment, which was really cool because obviously we use a lot of these spices and we see them when their production is finished, but you don't get to see them like with their leaves and actually in the ground or hanging from the tree or things like that. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so what we did for that is we ended up just hiring a driver off of the street and asked him to take us to a specific spice plantation that we had picked out. And we got there at the spice plantation. We paid our entrance fee. We had a lunch provided after we did the tour. And the tour lasted about an hour, hour and a half or so after like a traditional ceremonial thing where you get a drink. And it was really neat.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to go to Goa, then definitely do a spice plantation tour.
So I really enjoy history, and we were able to check out Old Goa, or Goa Vela in Portuguese. And it was so cool just being able to see some of the old sites that were there. We were able to see the cathedral, the basilica, and just be able to take that stuff in. It's kind of cordoned off in this area of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, but it's definitely a must-see if you're in Goa.
It's pretty crazy because when you see the architecture there, it's so different than what you see around everywhere else. So you can really see the Portuguese influence
For sure.
in these basilicas and churches and things like that. So it's kind of like a different part of Goa, but definitely worth seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's distinguishable among the other Indian states, I imagine, because after being in Agra, being in Delhi, going to Goa, we saw something completely different. The style was different. The vibe was different there as well. The people, I think, were a bit more relaxed. So that was pretty cool.
Right. I really enjoyed the vibe there. I grew up in a beach city, so that's definitely the feel because it's the beach. It's a little more laid back, easygoing, not so much in your face, not so much the traffic isn't too crazy. So I think that I really, out of all the places that we went in India, Goa was my favorite as far as the vibe. It was just very chill and relaxing, so I liked that.
Yeah, speaking of beaches, we actually stayed at a near beach hotel resort. It wasn't directly on the beach, but I think one thing people should realize is it's not the same sort of resort standard that you should have maybe in first world countries. Is that right?
Yeah. So when you think of resort or like a beach hotel, don't think of anything extravagant or lavish. I mean, they do have those there, but it's not like every single place is like that. So just a bit more like simple, I guess, but still clean and nice.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna find a bit of sandiness, or actually it's like a red clay dust that has permeated the buildings, has come into the hotels and such. But it's just a part of it. It's a part of being at a beach town.
Yeah, just keep that in mind. Like any type of beach town, like the hotels, that just the wear and tear of people walking in with dirty, sandy feet and things like that. Like that's the same there.
Yep. We stayed at a hotel called the Ibis Styles Kalangute Goa. and it was a good hotel, 3-star hotel that basically did what we needed it to do. I mean, it served its purpose.
They had a lot of different like fun features that a lot of hotels don't have. For example, they had these little foot massagers in the lobby. That was free. You could just go and sit there and do that. You could hire a free Jeep to the different beaches. Like, they had a lot of free options,
They did.
which was really nice. It's actually a really family-friendly place to go. They have like a little playground, and they have a normal pool, and then they have a kids pool. So things like that made it really family-friendly. But then they had all these little nice touches of just fun little free things you could do around the hotel if you wanted to.
Yeah, the style of the hotel was pretty good. They were actually working on the pool when we were there, but I don't know if we would have used the pool too much. We were more interested in the beach. Kaylee, let's talk about the beach.
The beaches were really nice. I mean, obviously, like we said, Goa is known for having really beautiful beaches, and they definitely did. The sand is really nice. The water is nice. You get really picturesque sunsets, things like that. And there's lots of restaurants that are just on the sand in the beach, and you can walk around. You can play in the water. You can have a drink or eat like in swinging chairs at these little restaurants. So, yeah. As far as needing the pool at the hotel, it's nice that it's there, but you don't really need it because the beach is right there, so you might as well just go out to the beach. So the beach was definitely nice.
Yeah, the prices were pretty good down by the beach as well. I mean, sometimes you'll go to places and you'll be at the beach location and prices are sky high, but I didn't really notice that there.
No, that didn't seem to be an issue, so it was nice just hanging out there with the breeze and everything.
You know, also what I noticed is that in terms of English-speaking expats or English-speaking tourists there weren't really many. There were a lot of Indian tourists, I'm assuming from other states that were there visiting Goa, and then also a lot of Russians.
Yeah, I think it's actually a big destination for Russians to go to, a big beach destination. So yeah, there were a lot of Russians there, but really nice.
Yeah, it was super cool getting to just, I don't know, interact, being Americans, interacting with Russians, and just trying to communicate, because most of them didn't speak English, and we don't speak Russian.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun, getting to do sign language. One big tip that we have, and this is something that caught us off guard, is the taxi situation currently in Goa. So hotels, there are only a few hotels that are allowed to organize taxis for airport pickup. And you need to understand that if your hotel is not one of these major hotels, they probably don't have a dedicated taxi service. Meaning that they will arrange a taxi for you, but that taxi is unionized. So the likelihood of it being a nice car and the driver being professional might be kind of low.
Actually, we were speaking with the manager at the hotel, and he was telling us about the taxis and the taxi unions. He was saying that a few weeks before we arrived, there was actually a strike. So the hotels don't have much of an option to the airport, and the airport is pretty far away. Like, Goa is pretty sprawling and big. There's lots of different places that you can go to. He was saying that they were having to tell guests, like, take this bus, and then they were trying to pick them up at the bus stop, and it was kind of chaos, which is unfortunate for the hotels because it's not their fault, but there's this taxi union that kind of runs things in the area. So keep that in mind, that if you're taking taxis or even to and from the hotel, that the hotel doesn't really have much say in how things run there.
Yeah, they don't regulate those taxis, so be patient with the hotels and realize that it's probably this union that's messing things up. So that wraps up our trip in India. The 3 cities that we went to again, Goa, Delhi, and Agra. Overall, we had an awesome time. The food was wonderful, people were nice, the service industry was quality, and had a great time.
Yeah, we weren't really sure what to expect going to India because we've heard so many different things. People love it, people hate it, you get sick, it's crowded, things like that. So we weren't sure what to expect, but actually we really enjoyed it, and I think that we'll probably go to a few other places because India is huge, so there's so much to see. We'll probably go back.
Yeah, I hope so. Listen, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions regarding anything that we said, please leave it in the comments section, and we hope to see you back soon.
Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
Bye.
Bye.